Hello, welcome to another episode of the teleprinter reassembly, or teleprinter getting it up and connected to the internet and whatever. So there's probably an actual name for this series, isn't there? But I've forgotten it. Anyway, so actually I don't really know what we're up to today, because it's more Mike and Paul's. They're leading on what we're going to be doing today, so I'm going to let them tell us what we're hoping to get done to try and move the teleprinter on and get it working better. So what are we up to?
Well, the electronics boxes I think we're going to be focusing on today. After Paul identified the problem of this grounding out on the chassis, that little power supply, it's plus or minus 12 volts supply, I've dug out some nice insulated spaces.
Might be kind of useful.
Which are a bit long, but we'll make them fit. To remount that with an insulated feet, so it doesn't ground out.
Yep.
Then Paul's going to plug everything into the H bridge.
Yeah, it needs the chip MC1489. Have we got them?
Oh, don't tell me I might have forgotten them.
Right, so we might be running it sort of receive only, and so not sending any. We won't be able to do the keyboard side of it.
Yeah.
That's what that chip there is interfacing with. But then the rest of it, we can then hook that up to do sending stuff from the computer to the teleprinter. So hopefully get it to type, which will test all the stuff that I've been doing, because the keyboard was working fine.
And we've got to wire up the D-type connector in here.
Right.
So that, and we've got a nice meaty cable to connect it with lots of wires in it, so that we've got enough wires in it to feed through to the other end. And then on the teletype itself,
let's go round and actually see what it is we're actually trying to get to work. Yes, in case you've forgotten.
And this cable here is going to be put in a box, and the RS232 cable on the other end. So
excellent.
We'll wire into this, and we've got a little black box around here somewhere, which is nicely going to fit all of the parts, and have a nice 25 by D type on one side and a gland for this cable to go through.
Yeah.
So it's nice and secure. It can't be pulled out, and all connected up in that box.
So yeah, let's get on and see where we get to. Quick update: we've got the this power supply on. As if I actually point the camera at it, maybe might be good. On some nice insulated standoffs now, and Paul is going to just power things up and check the voltages. So that's 12 volts going in.
I don't know whether that switch is on or off. Let's find out.
So
so it can connect.
Actually, let me see if I drag the multimeter around a bit, and is that visible on camera? Yeah, I think it is, just about.
So these two terminals are the power supply.
Right, yep.
I would say that's off. Let's switch the switch.
And it goes up to 12, that's good. So
let's try the first one. Let's try the one that had an issue
if I can work out they're getting. We should have worked out how we were going to film this before we started filming, really, shouldn't we? But hey.
Yeah. So,
So 12 volts there.
12 on the input. 12 on the input for this one. Do we get it?
Yep.
Yeah.
12 on the input.
And of course the input is that one.
And that's fine.
So,
yep. So these are the outputs.
On the outputs we have plus 12.
Plus 12. Yep. Minus 12. Plus 5.
And we need to change the range for this one.
Yep. Because this one is going to get us.
That's the ground off.
Ground. And 80.
Yes.
Plus 80. So yeah, that'll be for the solenoid to flick it back and forth. The plus and minus 12 is going to be for the keyboard, and the 5 is to drive all of
the embedded system,
all of the stuff underneath there. Yeah. So now, yeah, we've got this mounted in the box as well. So next is going to be wiring the two things together. So yeah,
And have it come out the box.
and out of the box, yeah, that was good. Cool. Right, we've got lots of interface stuff all boxed up, and I've done very little of all this, so I'm going to let Paul talk through what's been going on, I guess.
Okay, it's been really mostly soldering the wires from these modules to the this connector here, and the same.
And that will go into that convenient hole on the back. While we're testing it out,
That's it.
we're not, boxing everything up.
Yeah, and together with Mike as well, the whole thing really. This interface, the black box, so that we can connect the pins from the teleprinter to the same connector, which is gonna.
Right.
They'll be nicely hidden away, but we're not that confident yet.
We just want to show everybody how it all works.
All right,
We're being transparent. It's not that we're not confident or something, maybe. So this nice kind of fabric covered cable is the data cable coming out of the teleprinter. Then 25 pin connector, which I guess Mike is now going to wire up.
And the idea is that goes in there.
Oops.
Just loosely work that in for now. And we have a nice long cable, because that hopefully box won't be anywhere near out of the way. And the cable's quite chunky, so it's a pain in the bum to move around. Should.
So that will go into.
Now, is this powered on, Paul? Yeah, LEDs on the power supply.
Yep.
So
we should switch that off, are we?
yes, it's a good idea. It's not a good idea to plug things in when they're powered.
So let's switch that off. Plug in the data at the other end. Okay, so.
And now we switch on and see if there's any magic smoke.
Yeah, so let me just pan out so you can get all of the magic smoke when we turn it on. There we go. We've got a light and no magic smoke, which is a good sign. And now Paul gets to plug that into his computer.
Oh, and we did check to see that there was no power from this going to the computer, so we didn't fry Paul's computer while we were doing it.
Always good. Then I hope you can see that, but that's
just moved.
okay. Well, it tried to move because the Arduino ran, which sends a bunch of stuff across to the.
I can hear that.
Hear what?
That? I can hear. Sounds like a power supply with a problem.
That power supply is pulsing.
Yeah.
The 80 volt power supply is pulsing. You can see the LED. So let's just reset that. No, it's still doing it.
Yeah.
So it's taking more current than this is willing to supply.
Yeah.
Something here is trying to move as well. Can you hear it? This solenoid is trying to make a move.
Oh yeah.
So that 80 volt power supply won't supply enough current.
Yeah. Interesting.
So you'll probably find if you measure the 80 volts pole that the voltage is dropping.
So let's have a look around so I can get the right route. That doesn't really look like 80 volts to me.
No, it's not happy with that. It's a buck boost power. It's back to the buck power supplies not being able to provide the current that they need.
Yeah.
I think it's a short.
Well, if we turn it off and on again, because that will start the Arduino, and the first thing it does is it sends, I can't remember what message it sends, but it sends a message at the start, so we should hear it flicking back and forth on the solenoid when it's booting up, if it's booting up. And we're not getting the LED on the Arduino flicking at all, so maybe the 80 volt power supply is fine because none of that's running. and so the H bridge isn't switched on at all.
Back to the drawing board.
So
I think
a bit more head scratching.
Right, okay. Well, we've been doing a bit of diagnosis, and there's a couple of issues we've identified. One of them is the power supply lead here is a bit dodgy. So when we actually, this should power up the ESP and give us a nice flashing LED when it's first powered up, but it doesn't quite do that. Whereas if I just put the connector on briefly, it is switched on. It's now not doing anything. Let's go all together.
Of course, demo gods are.
No. Oh, it does help.
Off. Okay, helps if you switch it on. Yeah.
Yes. So you can see it's doing a startup routine, but if we then power it off and power it on again, it'll probably work once or twice. But no, it didn't even work. On.
Once. Yeah.
So there's a duff connection in the power supply to the ESP. So we're going to change these connectors out and put some better quality connectors in. And the other issue is this buck converter, which does the 80 volts to drive the solenoid. Doesn't look like it's happy driving a solenoid. So what we'll do next time is we'll use a bench power supply and see how much current the solenoid needs to work, and then we can work on that power supply accordingly. But hopefully then we look with the better connectors and the power supply, we should actually get it talking,
and then we can see if all the reassembly actually worked.
Yes.
And we can get the chip to go in for the keyboard interface side of things, and start to work on the software for that.
And with a bit of luck, then we can do a loop back in software, so that we can, whatever we type on the keyboard comes up on the printer, and it moves us in the right direction.
Yeah.
But we're just proving that the buck converters are not happy with inductive loads.
Yeah, which we've learned once again. Excellent. But it's all nicely boxed up. The interfacing's definitely there's a bit of debugging to do with it, but it's coming along quite nicely. And
we even had the right connections to the solenoid, because it was trying to move, but it just couldn't move very much.
Yeah, definitely. There was some stuff at the teleprinter end, but hard to see that it was trying stuff. But it was a definite click at the start as it first kind of fired in.
Before that gave up.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not playing.
Totally. So join us next time when maybe then we'll get it to spring back to life and actually type something. We'll see. Fingers crossed.